Do we? You want to start with you?
Good day. I'm Kathy Mortensen. I'm here to talk to you about fear of death. And this is,
My name is Irma. Hi, everyone. And I'm also here to assist Kathy in talking about fear of death.
and Irma and I have known each other for a while. We're both Reiki practitioners. She's a yoga instructor.
I'm a yoga instructor. I'm also a Reiki master, and I teach a lot of classes, including breath work and meditation.
And I do mental and emotional release, where if you are struggling, feel like you have limiting beliefs or your emotions get stuck, we can help you get those unstuck. And I also do hypnosis for quitting smoking. And today our topic is about fear of death. And where we ask you to listen with heart. We're going to talk about 4 different belief systems. So we want you to remain in your belief system. And I know since you're watching this online, but if you're with a group of people, we're asking you to respect others' belief system. And to realize that understanding is more than a reason. When we understand, it's more than just with our mind. We're also understanding with our heart, bringing compassion for that. And today we're not talking about grief. That is a different topic. But having given this presentation, we know that grief comes up a lot with questions. And so if your question to us feels like it is about grief, we will redirect because our focus is on the fear. What are your fears of dying? You want to add anything about that? Or
No, other than respecting everybody's belief system. I think it's very important. Everybody was raised differently and everybody thinks different. And as you get older, it changes. Your belief system will also change. And it depends on you.
okay, we're waiting for the next slide to show up here. And so the outcomes that we want today, let me move our little box so you can see the words. There we go. Hopefully you can still see us on your computer. These are the results that we hope you get from watching our video today, that you can identify death within your belief system through what we talk about. And also that you can identify what your fear is. What is your fear about? Once you identify your fear, it can help you put death in perspective as it relates to your belief system. And we get into that as we go along. We're going to provide a quick, brief overview of each belief system and then talk more in depth about it after. That way you get familiar with, your mind isn't wondering which belief system am I? And if some of you have, we call it a hybrid belief system. If you believe in more than one way, that's okay too. You might fit 2 or 3 of these belief systems, and that's appropriate.
Yes, it is. We're raised in a particular belief system. And like I said before, as we grow, and we can always intertwine them together, this versus that, or compile them together as one.
And we'll talk about strategies to face your fears. And we want you to understand death beyond just the thinking brain, why or what. And our presentation, I want to give credit to Kevin Chin. He is the one who wrote the book that we based our work on. And we'll give it a second. So first we're going to talk about fear.
Fear. It's an emotional and sociological response to perceived danger or threat. It is a survival mechanism that triggers the body's fight, flight, or freeze response, preparing individuals to react to potentially harmful situations. Fear can be rooted in both real and imagined scenarios and may arise from past experiences, uncertainty, or the anticipation of future events. It often involves feelings of anxiety, unease, or dread, and can impact thoughts, behaviors, and decision-making processes. At its core, fear is meant to protect, but when excessive or unchecked, it can also limit personal growth and well-being. And that is true. As we get older, or if we're ill at some particular age, fear does come out and we do the fight or flight, or we have the freeze response in denial. All sorts of emotions, behaviors, and sometimes the decision making affects us with all these feelings that we're feeling of fear.
And like you can freeze and not be able to make a decision. We face people who are like, go get your will done, and they just can't. It's like they're frozen in their fear. And so that's why we want to bring that up a little bit.
Not only that, but sometimes they'll say, yes, I'm working on it. I know I have to do it. Or, well, I thought about it, or, and that freeze response is because they figure that once they do it, they're afraid that they might die. So that's another fear in itself of not completing, like Kathy said, a task because of that.
Did you want to add anything else about fear?
No, it can be you can get very afraid. I know that for a fact. You can be very afraid of it, especially as you get older, or if you have, like I said, you're ill for some reason and that's all you think about. Sometimes that's all we want to think about. We can't seem to get it out of our head that there could be something better, even though we know that it's going to happen at some point.
And I don't know anyone, I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who survived Earth and kept living on and on. Death is a reality for all of us.
It's like that saying goes, you're born and you die, and there's nothing in between.
Well, life is in between.
Well, yes, but I mean, there's only two things that are going to happen.
You're born, you live, you die.
That's
There
right.
you go,
There you
Irma.
go,
I love
yes.
it. And I wanted to bring up John Duvall. He's a cancer survivor. I followed him for several years. And I think he's both on Facebook and it was Twitter. And he had significant cancer in his face, like they've taken out most of his tongue for him to eat. It takes him hours to eat, maintain his nutrition. And so if you are someone with an illness that is looking at and you're afraid of death, I would recommend him to follow. He has a great mindset and maintains positivity. And he's lived now with his cancer survival over 10 years. And I like his perspective. When shackled with a limited lifespan, some tough decisions have to be made. Do you value life enough to risk it in an attempt to prolong it? That's what I asked myself when I was offered immunotherapy, not knowing whether it would work or what the side effects would be. Going down that tunnel is not an easy decision, and it wasn't an easy decision for him because he knew some of the after effects. They aren't always positive, but it is his daily walk. And he posts positive comments about his life and his experiences and how he finds joy in each day, even going through this immunotherapy. Did you want to add anything else about?
No, I just think that he's very brave for deciding to live and go through the things that he went through and still find joy in every day. I think it's a plus.
It is a plus, and we'll talk about it more as we go through the slides, but he has a lot of followers who also have cancer. And the one story I remember from one of his followers was, I've been diagnosed with like 4 months to live, and this was in the spring. And he said, but I'm planting tomatoes this summer anyway, because I know I enjoy them at Christmas. And that is what it's that kind of thinking that inspired them to hopefully live longer or to live every day and to have something to hope for. So,
What is your goal of life? There's a lot of choices. Snooze or get up early. Ponder your day, the decisions you make to face your fear of death. And what is your zest for life? These are the important questions to ask for yourself. You know, do you want to snooze or do you want to get up early and play or whatever it is? Decisions you make to face your fear of death. You know, what decisions do you want to make? Do you want to make any decisions? And if so, why or why not? Ask yourself those questions. And then your zest for life. What is it that makes you happy? What is it that you want to do that makes you laugh and gives you joy? Those are the important questions to ask yourself, Kathy.
well, I think that's perfect because when you can focus on living rather than dying, it can bring zest to you. And that's why I chose John DeBall as an example. So, what does it mean? Are you busy dying, wallowing in fear, or are you busy living, getting the most out of every moment and breath that you can? And so, we are taking a two-pronged approach. We're looking at this in two ways to face your fear. One is with our reasoning mind, because it's always so why, what, that we want to strengthen the mind to comfort that fearful place that it comes from. And as we strengthen the mind, we know that means going within, knowing yourself. You have to know what brings zest to your life. You have to know what you believe and what's important to you. And sometimes conflicts occur with family members who might believe different than you. Those are things you have to work out. And as you face your fears of death, this is making it known, well known, what's right for you and what's right for other people don't have to be the same. And I'll give an example. For me, when I die, I want to be cremated. My husband's family doesn't believe in cremation. Both my husband and I want to be cremated. So that's like a difference that sometimes you have to work through, because some beliefs, it's like you should never get cremated. Your body still needs to remain whole. So those are like details sometimes that you have to work out as you plan out your will or plan out the safeguards for yourself so that your wishes can be known as you are facing your death. So those are the two ways we're going to look at that as we talk about strategy: strengthening your mind, going within, and knowing yourself. Anything you want to add about that?
No, I think that's about right. Yes.
Okay, quick overview of the 4 beliefs.
Belief number 1, when my body dies, my mind shuts off. The mind is connected to the body's life functions, and when the body ceases, the mind ceases. Physical science view, no belief in afterlife.
It's a very scientific approach. You live, you die. That's it. One life. Belief number 2 is my mind continues after my body dies, and that scares me. That I'm afraid of a continued existence from my mind, that I'm afraid of going to hell, or I'm afraid of how am I going to get to heaven.
Correct.
Anything to add?
No,
Okay,
that's perfectly fine too.
that's the second belief system.
The third belief system is my body dies, my mind continues. It transitions to something. I'm not sure to what, but it doesn't scare me. The fear is not one of continued existence. Looking forward to heaven. The fear is not one of continued existence.
So there, in the second belief system, you're afraid of that continued existence. In this belief system, you know you're going to exist as something, but you're afraid of the actual death experience itself.
Correct.
You're like
Correct.
looking forward to heaven. Does that help?
Yes, it
Clarify
does. It
it?
does. Thank you.
Belief number 4, my body dies, my mind continues. It transitions to something. I transition to a place to return to life again. And I know not everyone believes in past lives, but some people do. And some religions are founded in past life beliefs. And we wanted to honor that too.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So Irma's going to talk about more in depth about the scientific belief.
Okay, can you move that up a little?
Yeah, you don't need to read that first.
Okay.
That was more a reminder.
Okay, so death equals mind and body die. Mind and body die. That means everything, all of our existence dies. The mind is connected to the brain, and then the brain dies. The mind shuts off. Role of fear, experience. When mind dies, there is no more experience. No need to fear death. You have your present life. Focus. Enjoy life while you have physical body and the mind is alive. Logically impossible to fear death, fear of oblivion. Perhaps you have a hybrid belief.
And so the point of this slide is just saying that if you have a more scientific belief that we're born and then we die and that's it, there is nothing else. Logically, it's impossible to fear death. Because what are you fearing?
I found when I first read this too, I had to think about it. You're right. Once you die, there's no brain, there's no
Yeah,
body, so
so
there's nothing to be afraid of. This is belief system number 1.
So there's not a fear of oblivion because you don't believe it.
Right.
And that's kind of why we ended too with a hybrid belief, because people can do that. I mean, it seems paradoxical, but people can have more than one belief system.
That's right. That's right.
So really the strategy for this belief system is focus on living,
Focus
because
on living.
that's your belief system.
Yes.
There's nothing to fear. Live, die.
Be in the moment every day.
That's a good thing to add.
Yes.
And belief number 2 is this fear of continued existence. And sometimes that's really like this fear of the unknown. I'm afraid of going to hell. What's really going to happen to me? And how you overcome this fear of going to hell is learning to know yourself. What makes you tick? It's like, if you think you're going to go to hell, what is the role of forgiveness then in your life? What makes you tick about that? What makes you get through that role of forgiveness so that you can not be afraid of the unknown and become more confident about your continued existence in heaven? That can help you uplift yourself. What are those things that will help you feel more confident and more comfortable at living your life here on earth? What are those things about your belief that you can embrace that make you feel stronger and become more effective? And typically this is having more faith, going deeper within, knowing yourself, knowing that today might be my last day. I'm going to give it my all to help you face those fears. And when you can do that, it helps you face the uncertainty of death, because we don't know when it comes. So when we focus on the outside things like I'm a secretary, or I'm a CEO, or I'm a great football player, or we're focusing on the material stuff. And for this belief system, it's important that you go beyond your label. You're not your bank account, you're not your car, you're not your house. This isn't about your identity. This isn't about your status or power. This is about how you're experiencing life. Are you experiencing life as a loving being that your faith is asking of you? And that's why the word verbs is there at the bottom. These are about what is it that you're being. If this is your belief system, are you being loving? Are you being as your belief system is asking of you? And if you aren't, how can you help yourself overcome those limitations? Anything you want to add about that?
No, thank you. That was perfect.
So to help you address your fears, Irma was going to do a short breath work.
So if you're sitting down and you're listening to this, just get into a comfortable position, just kind of feeling relaxed, closing the eyes, and just taking a nice long deep inhalation, and then slowly exhaling. We're bringing awareness. Bring yourself into the present moment by deliberately adopting an erect and dignified posture. If possible, close your eyes. Bring the focus of awareness to your inner experience and notice what is happening in your thoughts, feelings, and your bodily sensations. Describe to yourself, acknowledge, identify. Put experiences into words. For example, say to yourself, a feeling of anger is arising, or self-critical thoughts are here. Register your experience, even if it is unwanted. Then gently redirect your full attention to the breath. Follow the breath all the way in and all the way out. Breathing in and breathing out. Say to yourself, your breath will be your anchor as well as a safety blanket. Focus on the breath in and out. And now expand the field of your awareness and allow your attention to include the whole body, especially to a sense of discomfort, tension, or resistance. If these sensations are there, then take your awareness there by breathing into them. On the in-breath, then out-breath from those sensations, softening and opening with the out-breath. Say to yourself on the out breath, it is okay. Whatever it is okay. Let me feel it. Your breath will be your anchor as well as a safety blanket. Focus on the breath in, breath out. Become aware of and adjust your posture and facial expressions and say, ah. Again, say, ah. Notice the body relaxing with every exhalation. As best you can, bring this expanded awareness to the next moments of your day and every day. And when you're ready, you may gently open up your eyes. How was that, Kathy?
Wonderful. It's a great way to manage fear, and you can find breathwork people online.
Yes, you can just type in breath work and, pick and choose someone that you like, someone that has the words that attune to you when you're in a state of fear. There's millions of them. Pick one, pick a
Pick
favorite one. Yes.
Yeah. So belief 3 is similar to belief 2, but you don't have a fear of continued existence. You know that you're going to transition to another place no matter what. So it's not the death, being dead isn't so much the fear, because you know you're going to be visited by a spirit. You get messages in your dreams. Sometimes for people with this belief system, they'll smell something, or they'll see something that reminds them of their mom or their dad who's passed away, or their child that's passed away, and they feel like that's a message. And so if you're feeling some fear about the death itself, why are you fearing if you know you're not alone? If you know others are waiting for you, these spirits that come in your dreams or come in your earthly life in other ways, we want you to find comfort in knowing that there's others waiting for you. They've led the way for you. There's a comfortable transition, because you know, your mind knows that you're going to continue to exist. So why have fear when you know that others are going to assist you? Anything you want to add about that?
Well, and she was talking about, people waiting for you. You have your ancestors as well. So it's just a matter of your continued existing and just knowing that someone is there on the other side. Belief number 4, past lives. Live in the continual present, not the past. Knowing I have survived past lives, I know I can withstand the here and now and another death. Go on vacation between lives. I like that one. Go on vacation between lives. Yeah, some people believe in that.
And we know not everyone does.
Right.
But I think it's important to, if you believe in past lives, that you become aware of what your fear really is about. If you believe in past lives, then you know you've survived before. What is there to fear?
Right,
You've been through it before.
right. Unconsciously.
Yes. We're not aware of that, if you
Right.
believe in that.
Right. You want me to do this?
Yeah.
The majority, energy is not created or destroyed. Perhaps it changes form. More conscious way of living. Be the creative artist of living your life until you die. Own the decisions you make. Live life now and go within. And I think this is very important. When you're growing up, you just want to live life. You go to parties, you work, you make a family, and you wait for retirement. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep living your life now. And as we get older, we want to live it even more, right? Be happy.
So the majority, I think what we're trying to say here is that the majority of people probably have a blended belief system and believe that whether you go to heaven or whether it's a past life, that this energy of creation is not destroyed. It changes form. And I hope that gives you this zest for life when you look at it that way, that you really want to live. You make the choice to live, like John DePaul talked about.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll give a slide after this and we'll give you access to a short meditation. But I want to end with John DePaul just because I admire him so much. To me, he's a hero for people who are what they know that death is closer for them because of their diagnosis. They know it's around the corner. And I loved his quote, overcoming the poverty of hope looks impossible in the midst of toxic news. But we still have tragic optimism to draw on. And if you've read the book by Viktor Frankl, he was a Holocaust survivor, and he talked about the meaning of life, living through the Holocaust and what that was like. Having optimism in the face of tragedy means we take the stance that no matter what happens in our life, life is always worth living. There's always hope in hopeless situations, and there's always light in the darkness. It's our hope that you can take those words as you face your fear of death, no matter what your belief system is, to live your life with zest.
Yes.
Anything you want to add about that?
No. Ten minutes of
Oh, no, we weren't going to do that.
no.
Yeah. Here's where if we were doing the workshop live, we would ask questions.
Questions.
If you
Yes.
had,
If you have any questions, you can post them and we will get back to you with whatever questions you have and we'll give you a response.
you can email
You can
us.
email us
Irma's email is,
irmawyt@gmail.com.
and mine is Kathy Mortensen, SEN, not ON. Everyone puts an ON and it doesn't go through. 16@gmail.com. I'll gladly take a phone call. Just know if I don't know your number, I don't answer the phone because of all the scam calls. So it's best to text me and say, this is me, I have a few questions, and then I will answer the phone. Just so you know, or if you leave me a message on the phone, I will call you back once I know who you are.
Yes, me as well. It would be preferable if you text us first.
Just to let us know.
Yes, just to let us know.
And one of the questions that had come up, I know for me in a conversation when death came up was, you know what my fear really is like, is my body gonna hurt? What am I gonna feel as I die? Did you want to help address that question in any way?
Well, I agree with you. Sometimes we don't even realize that we worry about how is our body going to feel. we could be in pain, or we might just be dying. We don't know. And we do have that question that I had never really quite thought about before.
And other people have. And there's a book, we didn't have it on our original list. I hope to add it on a list of resources for you.
Right.
And if you want those resources, again, you can email Irma or I, and we will get them out to you.
Yes.
But The Soul of Destiny, this is a book probably for people who are in the belief system of past lives or ongoing lives. It might be a stretch if your belief system is in heaven or hell, but it's up to you if you choose to read it. It's called Soul of Destiny. And it kind of talks about how your soul leaves your body right before you leave. It plants that seed about that. And I just wanted to mention that because it was a question that had come up, and
Good answer. Yes. Good
we
answer.
wanted to make it comfortable for you to reach out and ask us questions. If through this it's like, well, what about this or what about that? Because when we do the presentation live, we do allow that.
Yes, we do. We get a lot of questions. Feel free to email or text us.
So we gave an example of one. And I'm just going to end with, we do a short meditation when we do this live. But I'm just going to show you one. And of course it comes up on YouTube. So we have to skip through the commercial. So give us a second as we wait for our internet. And we thank you for watching our presentation today. And maybe it won't, there it is. Oh, there's the commercial first, of course. Anything you want to add before I show them this in closing?
I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope a lot of your questions were answered. Also, we will, if you call us or email us and ask us for the references, we will send them to you.
It's a whole list of
So,
references of things to think about. There are things like forgiveness practices, books that you can read, meditations that are recommended
Mhm.
for when you're facing fears of death, journal prompts,
Mhm.
affirmation.
Yes.
Just different ideas that can help you, as well as planning for your death, thinking about things with healthcare directives, legal documents, financial planning, those types of things are all in the handout. We thank you, and I'm not going to play this meditation, but I wanted you to see it. It's about a 22 minute in-depth meditation that walks you through the emotions of death. And it's one of the better ones that I found. I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it too when I watched it. It was very interesting. You will probably enjoy it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so very much.
Blessings and namaste.
Namaste.
We're gonna stop the recording, I think now.